Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn jiu-jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Third thing we're brought to you by is Rat Bat. Got rats? Want to kill bats? Kill them with a rat bat. Fourth thing we're brought to you by is hot dog flavored water ingredients. If you want to add it to your smoothie, hot dog flavor ingredient. Okay, today we're going to talk about getting massages and why I do them, and pedicures and why I do them. I've had many students over the years that tell me they're weirded out by massages. They don't like to be touched or whatever. And it's kind of weird to me because you do jiu-jitsu and you're on top of each other. And if you've done no-gi jiu-jitsu, we're even closer. You know, you don't have the gi, the thick gi between us. You're just sweating on top of each other. And, you know, I've never thought of massages in like a sexual way or anything like that. You know, for some people it is. And then maybe you shouldn't be doing it because if it, you know, you feel like you're, I don't know, cheating on your wife or something crazy like that. If you feel that way, you shouldn't do it. But I've been training jiu-jitsu for 20 years, and I find that they help me tremendously with my recovery. And I don't take any steroids or testosterone replacement therapy or whatever. I don't take anything. So I barely take, I think my wife started giving me fish oil. But that's about it, and energy drinks. And I'm trying to stop the energy drinks, but I don't, there's nothing else I do. I used to do ice baths, and I'm a believer in ice baths, but I haven't been training hard enough to really get in the ice bath territory where I'm training like doubles twice a day. If I do twice a day, sometimes I'll do ice baths. But the massage, currently right now, I do 2 a month. Every other week I get one done. And we've worked out a deal with one of my students. She provides massages for me, and we trade off with her and her kids and herself training, and it's worked out great, you know. But I've paid for massages. I've done everything. I've done the ones, you know, I've done Swedish massage, I've done sports massage, and I've done like Asian massage. So, kind of the differences for myself is the Asian type of massage is a lot rougher. They're a little bit more hard. They may even do more manipulation where like they're moving you around more. You know, Swedish massage is like when you go to a resort and you lay down and they have like music and scented whatever, and then they're just kind of like gently rubbing your skin. And that's fine for some people, but I'm there for getting my muscles loose and healing as fast as I possibly can. So, you know, I get knots or like I got injuries going on. And so I always felt like I always liked the Asian or Chinese massage. I've actually never done any Japanese yet, but specifically Chinese massage is way better. I used to go at PV Mall, and there's these dudes, and you just walk in, and so you don't need to change at all. They don't use any kind of oils or lotion. And so I used to like to go there. I would get a massage. You can do a table or a chair, and they do it out in the open, you know, where everyone can walk by and see. And I liked them because the price was reasonable, and they gave me a good massage. And then I'm just go out about my day afterwards, drink a ton of water. You know, that was one of the things I learned early on, like when they used to tell you, they'll tell you like, there's a lot of toxins that we release. I don't know if that's true. It doesn't sound very scientific to me. But definitely if you get a good massage and you don't drink water, you'll feel kind of terrible actually. Um, what that is, I don't know. But you can get kind of dehydrated feeling and kind of like really sore, like you got worked out if you don't take in a ton of water. So whenever I take massages, I drink a ton of water, and that seems to help. Um, but I stopped going to the guys at the mall because I'd get injuries and they didn't speak any English. And then I'm doing like hand signals and stuff like, hey, don't pull on this shoulder. This shoulder's bad. And like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like rip my shoulder. I'm like, ah, and so sorry, so sorry. I'm like, dude, so sorry. I have an injury. You just made worse. So, I didn't like the fact I couldn't communicate very well with them. I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, so that's a problem when I need to tell you to chill out on this area and that area. So then I've gone different ways. I've even done an app that one of my students told me about. He likes like everything mobile. Like he was doing Uber Eats before everybody else. He was doing delivery stuff, groceries, all that. So they have a mobile one, I think called Smooth, or Soothe, and it's pretty sweet. They just come and I'd have them come to my academy. So I have a room in the back, and I would just have them there, and I made sure I had a room with a camera in it, so there's never any like allegations of something weird happening. Um, so I'd do that, but it was pretty expensive. It was like like a 40% increase in cost to do that. So I don't mind going to a place and getting it done. But if you're in a pinch and you're like really sore, it's an option. Or if you have the dough and you don't mind spending the money. I had a lot of pretty good massage therapists, and I kind of liked it because these people were, kind of their own bosses. They didn't have to go to a place and rent a room because that costs a lot of money. They just put the table in their car, and then these tables, you can get them. They just fold up and open back out. They're not light, but you can carry it in and out of places. So I got why it costs a little bit more. Plus, the people that have the app want to get paid. They get a little piece. But it was a little too much money for me. And so I'm happy that I worked something out with Elena. She does great massages. And when I first started doing massages, I thought, well, I want only men doing the massages because they're stronger, But I used to go to this Asian place off of Scottsdale Road, in like Old Town Scottsdale, and it was like Asian medicine. And she told me she was a doctor in China, but then she'd have to go through medical school again here to get certified, so she couldn't be a doctor here. I don't know what was true or not. I also did acupuncture there and heat therapy, and they would do a massage before I do therapy. So I had a bad knee. It turned out later I got an MRI, and it was a torn ACL, but a slight ACL, so I never got it fixed. And she would say, look, after I do this treatment, you need to stay off of it a couple months. But back then, I was just training every day. I didn't care if I was broken or not. So I would do all this stuff just so I could train the next day. Like, okay, what can I do the fastest I can do it to train again without doing any kind of drugs or steroids, basically. I didn't want to do any steroids. So that was my thing. I was like, okay, what can I do? So I've tried everything. And I remember this little Chinese lady, she was so tiny. She probably weighed, man, I would say 90 pounds, maybe. And she was very thin, and she was probably 5'3", something like that. And when she grabbed me, I looked behind me, and I was like, what? I thought like they did a bait and switch where like a dude popped in, like a big burly guy popped in, because she had hands that were like vice grips, and she got a hold of me, and she was rough, like real rough. And I always felt good afterwards, but I knew it was going to be painful. This was going to be a really painful massage. And some people were like, what? Why would you do that? But like, I felt so much better afterwards. and I just need a little bit stronger massages. I need someone that's strong. She knew how to use elbows. Even though she weighed 90 pounds, she knew how to use her weight into the elbow. And her hands, though, like, just her hands were like, were just like granite. She was so strong. And I, I would ask her, like, how are you so strong? And she's like, just years of doing this. And it's the same thing I tell people sometimes with jiu-jitsu, like, just years of done it. I've done it for 20 years, like, put the time in and you get good at it, and little and stronger. But so, like, after that experience, I was like, okay, it's a person by person deal. Like, maybe the woman is strong enough, maybe she's not strong enough, but I won't know until I, go. Couldn't judge a book by its cover. I guess that's my point with that. But many times I'll pick a man if I have the option. I go somewhere, they're like, hey, would you like a man or woman? I always choose a man just for the strength purposes of it. It's not a sexual thing or anything like that. Like, I don't want a dude touching me. I'm not afraid of dudes touching me. I don't want a woman touching me for any purposes other than giving me the massage. But I highly recommend it. I really, really do. And then I'll even do foam rolling. I do a ton of foam rolling. When I did my yoga instruction certification, we did it's like 200 hours, and I would take these classes, and one of the classes was Thai massage, and I learned a ton of stuff I could do to myself with Thai massage. And I've never actually taken a Thai massage, but I took this class. So now I use a lacrosse ball, and I'll step on it and I roll my feet out. And I try to do that before every jiu-jitsu class now. I roll my feet out, I'll sit on it, I'll put it between my shoulder blades if I have a knot there. It's a little bit, it's lacrosse balls are a little bit give, but they're not as much give as a tennis ball, and they're not as hard as a golf ball. Some people use golf balls too. But I like the lacrosse ball, I like the size of it. I like it's smooth so that you can roll it on your feet. And I'll use that too with a foam roller before I train, and sometimes after I train if I'm really sore. And that helps tremendously too. So I'm a big proponent of massage, the various ways of massage. And then I don't massage my feet enough. So when I get pedicures, I used to do it more before pandemic. During the pandemic I haven't got any pedicures, but just for cost purposes, and just a lot of them were closed for so long. But I do think that they're helpful, because here's the thing with dudes, women. Part of the reason I think they live longer is they just take care of themselves better. They treat themselves nice, and I don't put nail polish on. I can cut my own toenails, but my heels will get bad. They'll get really like dry and chapped or whatever and calloused because I'm barefoot so much, like, year round. And the mat will suck the moisture out of your feet. And your feet, they take care of your body. So they're the point between you and the earth when you're walking around everywhere, your feet. So if you have foot problems, that usually leads to knee problems, hip problems, back problems. It's the kinetic chain, So I always liked the pedicures just for the sake of getting my feet taken care of. They'll get rid of my calluses for me, and on my heels, and then they rub my feet, getting blood throughout your feet. If you're diabetic, they tell diabetics all the time to massage their feet to help with the circulation in their feet. Now, I use my feet every day. I do jiu-jitsu every day. I'm always trying to careful if I have broken toes or dislocated toes and stuff. That happens in jiu-jitsu. But other than that, I'm a big proponent of getting your feet taken care of, and massages. And everyone has their own opinions and all that kind of stuff. But I've had people joke with me, like, oh, you're going to the massage, wink, wink. I'm like, Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Like I go to feel better and to keep training jiu-jitsu. And it is can be expensive, but like I drive used cars. I wear pretty much my own clothes for my business. These jeans actually have a hole in them. And not because I'm trying to be cool, just because they have a hole worn in them. So it's just where I spend my money. I'll spend money on my own body to take care of my body, and I'm trying to do this as long as possible. I'm 40 now, almost 41, and again, without any testosterone and without any uh, steroids, nothing like that. It's just all me. So what can I do naturally, that's not woo woo fake crap like crystals? I'm not going to put crystals on my forehead and, get my chakras right. Um, you know, and that's fine if that's what you're into. And I think maybe if you believe in that, it probably helps, just the faith aspect of it. Your body probably maybe even heal itself just because you believe it so, and that's fine. But with a massage, I think another way that I think about it is, I'm a basketball fan, and if you know anything about basketball, these dudes get massages, sports massages all the time to keep their body right. They get mobility massages. You know, Steve Nash was like super known for that because he had serious back issues. So they need to loosen them up. They got them ready. And if these are professional athletes who get paid millions of dollars, they're not doing it because it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, they're not these owners, these GMs and owners of these billion-dollar NBA teams would not pay for staff that's just fake. It doesn't do anything. There's science behind it. I can't tell you the science behind it, and I'm sure. I feel like some of it they don't know exactly what this science is about it, but I do know that if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. They would move on to something different. That's the cryotherapy. They were in the NBA. They were using that way before everybody else too. So I always kind of look to like what a professional athlete's doing that I can afford, for one thing, other than steroids, that will get you back on the field, get you back on the mat, and for me. And then just in life, like I roll hard, I train a lot, and when I'm with my family, I try to be less broken, so I also just want to be back for my family and healthy for my family, and I feel like it just helps my overall health goals with massage. So, I highly recommend it if you're out there thinking about massage. I don't consider it a sexual thing. The one thing I'll tell you, I do, if they'll give you a choice between lotion and oils, I don't like feeling all greased up afterwards. I don't barely use lotion, sometimes on my hands if they cracked or something. But and sometimes my feet, because they get cracked, I'll put lotion on. But like, I don't lotion my body up. My wife will get out of the shower and just like, oh, I gotta get my lotion. I'm like, okay, if you say so. So when I do massages, I don't like when they put the oil on me. Then I gotta go home, take a shower, and get all that stuff off me. That's my only thing with massages I don't like, is that feeling. And when I used to go to the mall, they would just they didn't use any lotion. You just kept your shirt on, clothes on. They would just go over your shirt, and it seemed to work fine. But skin to skin, there's probably some sort of something going on there too. You may even have an oxytocin release, skin to skin touch or something like that. I don't know. I don't mind them skin to skin. I just don't like the lotion. So if there was some way I could just wipe it off, I would like that. The lotion seems to work better, less slimy than if you're using oils. Sometimes they use oils. I think the oils, it's less friction probably when they're rubbing you. It's probably easier on their hands too. But anyway, that's my only downfall, I think, with the massages and getting them done. And you need to be careful. Like, I try not to do massages this right before I go train. They need to be quite a few hours before, or not at all. Like, if I know I'm not going to train, it's like what you do on your off days allows you to get back out there and that's kind of part of recovery science or sports recovery, is doing things on less active days to prepare your body to be active again. And that's how I kind of look at it as massages. So anyway, that's what I want to talk about today, massage. And if you ever want to check out Elena, she trains with us. She's off of Shea and the 101, and she does a great job. And you can talk to her about prices and all that if you're interested. I'm sure or if she's even taking clients, I don't know. She might be too busy, too booked. But you can set something up, and I highly recommend her. So, peace.
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way. Another rung to the ladder, either stalling or you're climbing, and I'd rather beat the ladder. Instead of getting fatter, let the footsteps resume naturally.